Turn that on. Okay, I think it's good. Let me just double check that it's all good. I think it's good. Let me just double check that it's all good. I need to, okay. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. It's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, yeah, there we go. So today's my birthday, so I'm doing a little birthday stream. A little different today. Gonna just sit and make some sounds. If I can find some. And yeah, there we go again. On Andre, day 63 of the new era. Thank you. $100. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Josh is here. I think he tried to call. We can try to call him. See if we can get him on the line. It's a little bit rushed. Let's see. See if he pops in here. There he is. He is here. Let me put on Josh here. There you go. There's Josh.
Am I in trouble? I thought I was getting the day off. I was told your birthday I wasn't needed.
Yeah, no, you're not. Really, technically, like we're just doing FL Studio stuff today. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so just wanted to say.
Leave me out of the fun parts, bro. That's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just it's just Papa Roach today, solo, flying solo. Yeah, but yeah. So that's how you doing? Are you doing good?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Is that the new camera?
No, it's not. Okay, so everybody, I bought like a $500 webcam, 4K 60 FPS, all that stuff. It's USB-C, and my computer is 10 years old and doesn't know what that is. So I have to buy like a converter and pray to Jesus that works. I tried with a USB-C to USB cable and it doesn't work. So maybe it has to be like a special cable that isn't just like an iPhone charger cable. So I'm going to hope to pray to God that that works, or else I wasted tons of money.
It's going to need like a power in between.
Yeah. So, but USB 3 and USB-C, if it's a 5 gig cable, it should do the job. It's I've been to Reddit and they say that that's the case. So I'm just waiting for the cable to come in the mail. Probably be here by next week. Then I'm good to go. So today I'm gonna be my camera's gonna die, and then I'll have to go faceless for the rest of the stream. But
once you get into the midst of it, I don't think it's gonna matter too much. I like your hat though.
Hat, yeah. So yeah, this is my a merch brand of WarioWare. I have a bunch of different merch. The jacket that matches for it is really cool too. It's black and white as well. Matches this one. You can get it on my website if you want to check it out. It's a little bit more. I don't know. I wanted to kind of have like a little cyberpunk. I played so much Cyberpunk 2077 over the last like 3-4 years, so kind of wanted to, there it is. Yeah, so yeah, the jacket is like warning. Oh, fucking camera. There we go. So yeah, it's WarioWare. There we go. There we go. Oh, there we go.
I get it away from my head. Oh, that's cool.
I just gotta fold it up so I can see the logo stuff.
We need to have like a WarioWare lounge.
Darren, I cannot, for the love of God, get this folded up properly because it's like it's mirror and reversed on the camera, so I don't know which way to pull. But here we
You're
go.
looking good over here.
Yeah, there you go. That's the thing.
Oh, for a while.
Yeah, and then I really like this. It's like a windbreaker. So I wear it when I go outside if it's a little chilly. I have another one too that's like a red and green. That's the original design. That's this one. It's the same one. This one's also really cool. It's more the cyberpunk kind of like red and dark green or dark, like what's it called? Navy? No, oceanic. It's like blue green.
Yeah, like navy blue.
Yeah, but it's got a tint of green, so it's like dark teal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that color.
Yeah, me too.
Against the orange red, it's really nice.
And I made also another. Oh, I don't know where that is, but I had a hat for that too. But it's okay. I don't need to show it all today. But yeah, you guys can go. I almost said go download those things. But
go download that merch. Hey, eventually they can 3D print that shit. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. So 2 days ago, I got my U.S. visa approved by the immigration and.
About fucking time, bro. That's the longest it's ever taken. And what's funny is like the day after you told me about the approval, I saw this article by like this renowned like immigration lawyer that I follow on LinkedIn, and she was basically complaining about exactly that. Like these visas used to take 2 weeks, now they're taking 3-6 months. It's insanity, and the opportunity cost that's lost for the artists on this side is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And we had to cancel and move a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is that we're going to start planning the U.S. and North America tour, we call it, because we're doing Canada and United States, kind of like back to back, flip flop, call it, in between. So yeah, we're going to try to hit it.
My guy.
Yeah, routed. So we're trying to hit up all the major cities. In Canada and as well the U.S. But we don't know anything for certain, but we definitely want to hit Florida, New York, Chicago, California, L.A., and
Denver for sure.
Denver, Colorado. We got to make up some shows, and then we also in Texas as well. Hopefully Houston and Dallas, but we'll see which ones we can pull off there. And then in Canada, Toronto, we definitely want to do Montreal. And maybe also Vancouver. I almost said wank. Vancouver. Like Vancouver, bro.
Oh,
gooning.
Shit, we just started something.
All those gooning and goons in the street. Or I also like Victoria, like BC, British Columbia, up there. I really like that. Vancouver Island.
Where the real backrooms are.
Yeah. But we used to also do Edmonton and... I almost said Wakanda, or Wikipedia, but I meant the small one.
Calgary.
Calgary was one of them, and
together.
And then we had my memory is. I think I'm getting Alzheimer's.
No, it's just a lot of shows that were a while ago.
Winnipeg. It had like a native name. It's like a Winnipeg. Sounds really
yes.
native. Yeah. Yeah, we've done all of those. So we'll see what happens. It's about demand. So our agency is going to reach out to promoters in all these areas and see what we can do. Basically, I got to reboot the whole touring system stuff.
Rebuild the street
teams, but like a lot of clubs have moved on, a lot of promoters have moved on that we used to work with, so we got to find new connections and network on all those things. So yeah, so that's happening, but we're starting to book from July out in the US, I think. July, August, out the year, and then we'll continue next year. We're still working on
this. We're doing this mixed music festival in Portland.
Yeah, in August, right?
Yeah. So right around that time, we're going to be out all over the place, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, sounds like it. We're trying to really figure out what we're going to do in Europe. We need some better connections there. So we're still working on that. We do have some contacts in France that we're gonna try to boot up again, do some Paris show and stuff like that. But at this point, we're kind of like floating in the water in Europe a little bit. So U.S. first, and then we'll hit Europe later. Hopefully South America at some point too, like Argentina specifically and stuff. But
Mexico is way overdue.
Yeah,
we talked about that a million times.
Yeah,
this is the production stream, my guys. You
yeah.
know how lucky you are to have Savant fucking making music on his birthday, bro?
Oh my god.
No.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's the news. That's the flash, and then just gonna double check my chat here real quick. Somebody's been super chatting me up. I'm at work, but happy birthday. Hope to catch you in a bit here. Bark, yeah, Bark's always been here. Bark's a classic. Yeah, a lot of saludos de Peru and Mexico, please. Feliz cumple cosa?
Cumpleaños.
Yeah, okay.
Causa.
Space Pirate, of course. Calling me king and shit. Thank you for all these amazing streams. Can't wait to see you live. Thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Oh, and also,
lots of birthday love.
Oh, my camera again. Oh, scared. Give me a heart attack. This camera. And then Neo Tail, happy birthday. Thank you. And Andre, the Russian Andre. I don't know if you're Russian or there's Cyrillics in different countries. I don't want to offend anybody with that. But he had basically he's crying about the New Era song again, of course, which is classic.
So am I, dude. And
he sent me $100, which is great. That's thank you so much. Appreciate it. A lot of people are sending me some super chat. Retri, of course. Happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños. No, cumpleaños.
No, cumpleaños would mean like happy asshole.
Oh.
And you want años. So the difference is
cumpleaños.
Like just a little.
Cumpleaños,
just a
not
little
anus. Oh.
Right, we don't want anus.
Woo! So yeah, Ronald McVinter and the Yoy Boys featuring Kenny Benso. I had burgers today on my birthday. It wasn't McDonald's though, thank God. Last time I was at McDonald's was trash, and I was just like, I gotta stop doing this.
You gave up?
Yeah, it's such
not worth it.
Garbage food.
It's not what we remember.
No. When you're 7 years old, man, and you just came home from the theater watching Independence Day, you get your Happy Meal with all the Toy Story toys.
It looks like this big.
Yeah, and fucking have a cheeseburger that changes your life. And then when you're fucking 86, it's like trash. Because I've had real food since, so I guess that's what's been going on. But yeah. So yeah. What else is kind of? There's nothing else that's kind of like new, right?
I mean, the U.S. visa is a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
Happy about that.
Yeah, I know.
Hex 3, I saw how the Hex selection.
Yeah, I'm done with all the demos for Hex now, so I kind of punched it in. There's gonna be like I don't know, I couldn't decide, so I'm just adding some more tracks to it because I couldn't decide which one to pick. So it's gonna be like 2 extra songs. It's gonna be 9 tracks maybe. But my folder, my playlist now with unreleased, these are coming songs is like 20 tracks that are like these are it. So I could
good shit in there, dude.
If I was retarded, I could just release a 20-track album tomorrow with stuff, and the mixes are okay. I wouldn't cringe, but I still want them to be like.
It would be interesting because it would be a reverse Zion, right? Like,
what do you mean?
Reverse Zion Invasion.
What do you mean?
Where you just dropped Invasion like just a couple of months right after Zion. Not even.
Did I?
It was like, yeah, it was like, what?
So
not even bacon.
Yeah, so I could have been releasing albums every 3 months for the last 10 years. I do have enough music to do that. It's just it's a mental health thing, right? Where actually doing that stuff makes me kind of like not wanting to do this because when I what's it called? When I feel like I've done a bad job on something, I kind of like would never want to see that shit ever again. So I kind of just want to take my time with things a little bit more.
I have a feeling that over the course of these streams, you're gonna get to the bottom of that feeling. And it'll be very well defined, and you'll have conquered it.
I don't know.
Because I think it's important to understand, like you were never done. Cool. Uh,
I also don't have a proper studio, so I kind of like
well, yeah, but
I'm wall to wall with the 3-year-old. I got neighbors upstairs. I got people in the living room next to me, and I usually like to like work continuously for like 2 days without sleeping and stuff like that. And when you have a child and family and obligations, stuff, you cannot do that. So I'm trying to find a new rhythm as like a family guy, and it's been very difficult. So I've struggled a lot with like finishing things because the reason I kind of finish stuff in the past because there's no breaks, and I kind of can when you get into the flow state and it doesn't get broken, you can continue until you feel like you've reached the end of it. Like when you cut the flow state and come back to it later, it's not the same person. You're not the same person anymore, and it's not the same song anymore. And you kind of like either kill the song or do something different. So you kind of never get to finish that product that you have in your head when you can't work for more than 4 or 5 hours every day. Because as soon as I wake up, I have until my boo boo gets home from kindergarten, and then it's screaming and running around time, and Papa needs to chill out with his work. So it's a definitely different.
Papa needs to make beats, bro.
Come on, leave me alone, child. Papa needs to be a DJ, famous DJ. Leave me alone. No, of
But
course.
look, regardless of what state you put it out in, it's appreciated. And,
Quentin,
and and nothing says nothing says you can't go back and reprise, which you've done.
yeah, Quentin sent
But
me.
today's about new. It's about that new bird.
Yeah, Quentin sent me 60 euros. Love you all. Bordeaux was extreme. Happy birthday, Alex. Thank you. Yeah, Bordeaux was amazing. It's my first real set in a very long time. That was a real set. It was 2 hours. It pushed me to the limit. Rampage was like a real trial by fire where the CDJs, I didn't know how they worked and shit, so there was some bug. So all my songs were like glitchy and shit, so I had to like survive through the hour I played. But Bordeaux was perfect. Because I got the time to hang out in the venue a little bit before and learn the CDJs a little bit before I played, and it was really great. And the people I played with and stuff like Mac, I made a song with Mac, of course, on I think it was Hex 1, the Babu track. We played together. He's a real cool dude. Yeah, anyway, let's not get stuck on that. Bordeaux was great, yeah. And of course, I met the dentist in Bordeaux that wants to fix my tooth, and that's all that matters. All that matters.
Super birthday.
Yeah, all that matters to Papa. So okay. If there's nothing more new on the menu, let's just get into it before I lose my mojo. I had a rough day today. I didn't sleep a lot last night, and I took a little nap before the stream, and I'm groggy. And
The bear's always grumpiest after his, nap. So
yeah,
I get that.
it's one of those bad day naps where you wake up feeling like trash. You just want to like drown yourself. But yeah, I'm gonna get through it. I think I just need to get into the mojo, get some feelings going, and that's gonna be good. Groggy froggy. Thank you. Thank you for the groggy froggy. Yeah, Josh, I'm gonna let you slide, and you can hang out in the chit chat if you want. And
I'll be in the chat.
yeah, and then I'm gonna
see what
just
you're
open up fluty flutes and fluty roots.
Yeah, you should probably cut me off because it's gonna fucking kill your CPU.
Yeah. Okay.
Stupid to have me on.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Okay.
Have fun, guys.
Adios.
Bye.
Adios. Okay. Yeah. So that was that. Now we can get nitty gritty. I'm gonna keep the chat open on the side just in case you guys have something. I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing. I didn't plan for anything. So I'm just gonna like vibe a little bit. It's gonna be a little vibey. So let's see if we can. There we go. Let's open up this baby and that baby. I think we're good. yeah, that's it. Let's do a little sound check. I think that's gonna work. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna be vibey. I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing. I have some, I don't know, it's been over 10 years since the last time, or since I had some videos where I kind of talked about my flow process, all those types of things. I'm still using the same goddamn software as I did 15 years ago, 10 years ago. So there's nothing new there, really, other than more plugins and more samples and stuff like that. But I definitely have learned a lot about like how to get more efficient and tight and keep things a little bit more like organized. I think becoming an engineer over the last 15 years have been like a big journey for me. By engineer, I mean like learning how to tame and enhance frequencies and dynamics in songs. Mixing. So yeah, I've developed a method lately, the last few years, that really kind of hits home for me when it comes to like mixing and making songs. And I can just explain those really quick before we even make any music. So first of all, when I have an idea, it's usually in the morning. I have my coffee, and then I have like a nicotine thing, and then ideas just start rushing, and I just have to run into my studio and start sketching stuff. And the sketches are one thing, but making it into music or into a song, that's another thing. And those types of things are usually some of the hardest things when you are just have like one cool idea. So something I've put a lot of attention into is arrangement and how I'm gonna mix. How I'm gonna mix, like the procedure, making it easier for me, like having an overview of everything instead of kind of like getting 100 tracks, 200 tracks, and it's a mess, and I don't know where to start when it comes to like fixing the noises and stuff like that. And there's tons of ways you can fix all those things. So when it comes to arrangement, something I do when I make music is that I study a lot of other people's tracks. Where did my chat go? There we go. Sorry. I study a lot of other people's tracks. I go a lot on Beatport. I check out mostly arrangement, really, just to see if it's changing, if somebody is kind of like pulling. Okay. If it's kind of like moving. No, I kind of don't. I have it here. Yeah. If it's moving in one direction or another with the arrangement of tracks, because those things are important to me, to kind of like learn more. And different genres have different arrangements, and different producers or artists also have different styles of arrangement. So I just want to keep my feet wet with all those things. Max is, hi guys, dude, we're cool with everything, make a random song, play Elephant to the stage, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that song is trash, but thank you. And then Edenod was with Quentin. Oh, okay, I love you guys, can't wait to see you again in France. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be back. So let me talk about arrangement. I'm using FL Studio. Of course, FL Studio is it is what it is. It's a very cute program, quirky. It's got its ups and downs, and just like any car or tool, when you've used it for your whole life, you know exactly how to like make it work. And for me, this is it. I have FL Studio. What's it called? 25, 21. and it's good. It's just it. I feel like software developers also like make things. They try to make more to it and justify the existence of those things without really adding. I don't know. There's a difference between making something different and making something better. That's a huge thing. When I work on teams or with other musicians, it's like, is this better or is it just different? And that's a huge thing for me. And with with corporations or people who make products, it's sometimes about justifying to make more money on a new product quicker. So I'm not really into that kind of like fad of, oh, version 6 of something. It's like, I need to know exactly what it does, and if the muscle memory of those things are changing so fast and so much, then it's basically taking away the ability to use it at the same kind of frequency as I'm used to. So muscle memory is a huge thing for me to make music. And this one is so similar to the first one I used in 2003 that it is like walking or breathing or anything else. Like I'm not curious how to do something. I know exactly what to click to get what I want. And there are some things that aren't that are better in the newer FL Studios. Like the engineering part has gotten better. There's a lot more under the hood, especially when it comes to accuracy and stuff like this. What's it called again? With the like the detailed sample rate, all that stuff. But yeah, basically, if you're making LFOs or automations, or even doing knob turns, there's going to be less artifacting in the newer FL versions. And in this one, it will be artifacting, but they don't bother me because nobody ever is going to hear those except for me. Especially in like this one. Of course, now I don't have my proper sound card latency stuff, so it's gonna be a little effed anyway. But there are some artifacting here when you do, envelopes and all kinds of stuff. You can hear some stuff happening there that's not like legit. Anyway, so back to arrangement. When I make songs, something is really like I know all the different types of arrangements that I like, so it's really easy for me to find out if the idea I'm working on has this vibe or that vibe. So I'll kind of jump into arrangement really quickly, and in FL Studio I'll definitely just jump into time marker mode extremely quickly. Thank you guys for the happy birthday wishes. Yeah, appreciate y'all. And then I have a very specific way of doing this time marker thing, and the first thing I'll do is something called I just like to do that. I like to have a little silence at the beginning, just one bar usually, just in case I don't want things to start here. And then we'll have intro. Some silence can also can just call that start. I usually do that for brevity. And then intro is really quick usually. I'd never keep it, more than 8 bars, but usually it's between 1 bar, 4 bars, or 8 bars. But let's say we do a 4-bar intro, and then we start right on. This is EDM and pop music are different arrangement names. Like in pop music, you would call this a verse maybe. If it has like a vocal, that's not the chorus. And then in EDM, you would kind of call it beat. That's what I would call it there. That's where the drums come in. Like here, you'd have some remnants of like the melody pattern, maybe even the hook of the song, or just a vocal sample, like a tiny hook, and then boom, straight into the thing. That's something I do. Can also start right on the beat, have a longer DJ intro, extended version, stuff like that, where you have like 8 bars of like soft drums, and then the beat would start maybe here. But okay, let's keep going. And then, let's say after 8 bars, we'll go to beat plus like something new. And that would be like maybe like a synth or a drum pattern added on, like a build up. And then after this, I would definitely just go into like breakdown. And with the breakdown, there's different ways of doing that for me. Either I have like a bar of silence before the breakdown, where it's like boom, you know. But not necessary for this purpose of just explaining how I would do an arrangement. And then for a breakdown, I would do like, for a really snappy EDM, quick EDM song, I would just have like 8 bars of breakdown and then 8 bars of build up. And then a lot of more modern arrangement that started happening probably around 2016 outwards is this pre-drop or fake drop. I'd say this is very standard in a lot of EDM genres right now. Build up. So there's different types of method. You have the pre-drop, basically, where it's let's say drop here, and just delete all of these babies. Where it's like a build up. It's 8 bars, and then you'll have this kind of like 2 bar of the do 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 boo, and then it starts. Or this is something I do a lot, is it's the fake drop, where it's part of the actual drop, so the arrangement doesn't change. It's just there's no drums on this part, and then the drums would either kick in here, maybe even there, or halfway through. I don't think I ever would let it go 4 bars. Maybe it depends on the case and stuff. And then after 8 bars of that, of course, you do a lot of call and response, but drop part 1 could be very different, and then you'd have drop part 2 be like a response to that with different patterns or whatever. And then definitely coming to drop B. Let's just call them drop A and drop B here. Drop A. And then back to business, breakdown again. Same shit as before, but this time, build up. This is like concurrent around most EDM genres, but more in the 4/4 stuff. Is that you'll have the like a bigger fake drop where it's basically an extra build up, but this is like the drop, like hype. Let's just call it a hype drop. Hype drop. Where it, I don't know how to spell drop, where it's 4 bars of basically just music going without maybe drums, but usually like a fill, like a larger fill coming in. So build up, regular fill, and then just the whole drop without any drums usually, and then boom, drop, and the same stuff again there. If it's a more poppy EDM track, like let's say like Swedish house type stuff, you definitely don't want to do too many crazy changes on drop, because it's a chorus. It's more of a chorus, and people just want to hear that vocal. They want to hear the catchy part, and you just want to repeat that as many times as possible. But if it's more like an experimental or a hard genre, more like grimy, you definitely want like the second drop to be very different and more interesting. So there's a little difference there for sure. And same thing here too. Drop B, and then I would definitely go to this. I would also do for the first drop as well. Do a post drop. Post drop, which is basically maybe even the same thing as the first drop here, but it has like it's a little bit more stripped, or it's kind of like winding down a little bit before it goes into the breakdown. But here it would be like outro. Can be very snappy, could be 4 bars, fucking 10, 18 million, whatever. But the ending, I would always also do. End is a metaphorical end. Stop is a technical thing. Stop is when the audio has completely stopped. So end would be when the song is supposed to be like, that is the end of the song, guys, but it's still like echoing or reverbing out, or like, loud. But stop, that's the big one. Because when I render, I'll do it from the silence start to the stop right there. So I have something to like, maneuver. Also, when I DJ, I love that things are very steppy, so that there's no like half step right there, like it's not going there or a little bit over. I just love that things can fit, because if I'm making a loop, if it's a cool echo and I want to make a loop on that, I don't want it to like sling over 4 bars or whatever. But yeah, so that's how I would arrange the song real quick. But that's just one part of making tracks. The other track part is the making it sound good. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I make things sound the way I like it. So I made a lot of drums stuff, so I'm just gonna try to use some of the stuff I made. And just see where it goes. That's 142. I don't know if that's not a really good loop, but also it has this. See, this is why I don't release samples. There we go. Just gonna work on this beat part right here. Soup Kirby, is this the Savant that made one of my favorite songs, Royalty, from the Zion album? I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling a little garagey today. We definitely need to delete all of those and do this. I usually also color code all my stuff in the actual sequencer, so I know by viewing what it is without reading. So I'll definitely. I used to use the software and growing up to make music called EJ, and the color coding they used on loops, drums, and all those things is kind of something that stuck with me for the rest of my life, which means that bright yellow will be cymbals and hi-hats, because, cymbals in real life is kind of gold, bronze, copper color, and then the more percussive it gets, the more orange it's going to get. So the brighter it is, the more yellow, and the more, fucking congas, shakers, and those kinds of things, I'll do more orange. And then for bass and kick, I'll do red. And for vocals, I'll do pink. And for synths, I'll do, I think it's like some teal, turquoise type thing. And for effects, I'll do green, and for pads, I'll do blue. So I'll always have like a color-coded type system for making music, so I know where I'm looking or what I'm looking at. So this is like a shaker hi-hat type loop. I apologize if I was rude. Appreciate you, Matt. No, rude. You weren't rude. I was just having dry, no nonsense type humor. I don't know how many savants who made Zion. Out there. It wasn't rude. You're very nice. Thank you, Soup Kirby. Yeah, so that's very bright, so I would actually color code. I have a lot of OCD as well, so you're gonna be stuck with me. There's no editing here, so you'll be seeing some overthinking and dirty bullshit. Oh yeah, that one for sure. Maybe actually wanna just scale that, time stretch that sample and keep it 130. I like that 132. Yep, here we go again. There we go. There we go. That had more of a clap, so I'll do this. And then we're getting to the interesting parts soon, promise. I have a whole folder called House. I have some cool stuff in here. I love this hi-hat. I need this hi-hat in my life. So there we go. It's going to happen up here. Oh, too bad. Oh, we need to shuffle that shit up. Okay, so what I'll do here in the pre-mix is, really have things, hi-hat, clap, snare. Usually I color code these as well. Snare, percussion. These are just one-hit samples usually, and then we'll get to loop 1, loop 2, etc. We'll just call that because that's all we have right now. And then we're gonna maybe have a little separator here, and then we're gonna start on crash. I need a crash. Even though it's part of the drums, I usually group it with effects for some reason, because yeah, I'll get to that later. And then we'll definitely go into the fundamentals of the song, which is going to be a bass, and normally there'll be more than one bass sound, so we'll just do 3. I know it's weird to kind of like preemptively kind of like assume what we're going to put into these channels. This is all the theory, right? Then we'll just have a simple divider, and then it'll be like synths. Oh snap. We'll do a few of those. I'll also maybe have some samples, stabs and stuff. So there we go. Have a little divider. And then we'll definitely have like something I call atmosphere, which will also be like a pad or a sample with a looping voice, those types of things, those types of things. There we go. And effects. I usually have high effects and low effects, and try to separate them a little bit. And if they don't have a lot of needs, I'll just put a lot of things on the same mixer channels to save. Oh, there we go. Camera is acting up on me. I'll just clump them together to save some track space. But most important part, the reason I'm doing all this is because of this method I have over here that I really love. I'll have something called master here. Even though we have a master over here, I definitely like having a master, a mini master, a pre-master. And then before that, we'll have something called kick. And before that, we'll have mix. And before that, we'll have sidechain. Before that, we'll have something called group, which is just something that goes into the sidechain and has no other purpose than to group things that needs to go to sidechain. And then we'll do things in the same order as we have them here. We'll do FX, Atmos, sample, synth, bass, and then I have 2 types of drum channels. I do drums with sidechain, and then I do drums that are going straight to the mix to the master. Okay, so this is how I do it. And let's just get a kick in that quick. My headphones are not telling me how the bass actually is, so it's going to be a little inaccurate. But that sounds... I like it already. This is definitely loop 1. This is loop 2. So now you can see we got our shit going here. And then basically what the kick is the most important thing in an EDM track, especially in house and 4/4 music. The kick is always king. And it needs to be the one that always comes through and never gets bothered and always gets its green room and backstage area and VIP pass. And nobody ever comes close to it or messes with it. That's how I look at it. Right now, I would love some clacky stuff. So I did a video that I was going to post to YouTube about like how I make drum samples with weird plugins. And I'm still editing that because it turned out it was like 2 hours long and editing sucks. So I was just like a little demotivated to do that. So I've made 2 drum kits with Razer, which Razer, if people don't know what that is a Reactor plugin from Native Instruments. There's going to be a VHS probably. Oh, okay. That sounded fun. Yeah, Reactor, this baby right here. I make so many things in this, and this is... I've used this since the first Savant release, and it's got artifacts. It's very, it's noisy in like a not great way, and it's very digital. So it has a lot of that over top crisp. They even put in like a spectral clipper here, so you can cut the high end of things. Let's see, auto, no output, clipper. Here, yeah. So you can cut the highs because it's such a bright digital sounding plugin. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's not important right now. Just wanted to open it up. We're gonna mute that for now. But yeah, I love making drums with this because it has a lot of features and filters and I don't know, these dissonance effects. They're just crazy to me, and they can create so many fractal instances that where if you just touch a knob 1 millimeter, it will just turn into a completely different sound. So you basically have a million sounds with one patch that you make. And here's some patches that I made not so long ago. And sometimes when I make synth sounds, I want to render them out to like one shots, because if you just press another key, it will just sound too different. Let me just the octave is a little wrong here. See? That F, no, this G sounds, this F sounds amazing. That's the Reese, like 90s. That's the one I like. So I rendered this one. But then you get just one key up. So it's a very, temperamental plugin. So, but it's fun to make. Both synths and drum sounds, and I do use it for a lot of that. The drum sounds are going to be very kind of messy and noisy and kind of that perfect glossy EDM. So it might be more for dubstep stuff or experimental stuff or even just for percussion. These are all kicks I made with Razer. Some of it can be used for trap and more like hard EDM. It's gonna be it's very good for sound design if you're doing like movie sci-fi stuff or video game sound design. It has a lot of sci-fi possibilities and stuff, and organic stuff too. I made a lot of jungle chirps and bird sounds and stuff with this. And the cool thing about making your own claps, hi-hats, snares, stuff like that is that when you do that, they're not going to be perfect, but you can layer them, mix them, and they're going to sound better. And they're going to be just yours. And it's going to be your unique touch, your sound. So yeah, that's really fun. I was looking for a little clacky sound. Clack, I mean rim shot. Oh, these sound so much better on the speakers. In the headphones, they kind of... Maybe it's this one. A lot of young FL Studio producers I see that are like just posting random shit on Twitter all the time. Everybody's just using the sequencer, dropping samples straight in, and that's okay. But you do have a drum sequencer here with volume envelope stuff and velocity stuff and pitch shifting and stuff, and why you wouldn't want to use that. And if you doubt, it's like, oh, but I want my snare to hit a little after, you do have the piano roll, but you do have a consistent MIDI that's easier to copy paste, and you have more consistency, and also edit. You can edit instances better. When you have a kick down here, you'd have to do a goddamn automation on stuff just to pitch it or do something. In a piano roll, you can just play another key or use the portamento function to make something slide or whatever. So whatever, bro. Okay. Snare, that's going to be here. This doesn't sound great as is, but there is some frequencies we're going to be lurking out. It's that wooden paper mache clack thing I'm looking for. And also, I think it's too long. It might not be the right sample. We'll get back to that. What am I doing? we need to make a new pattern and delete this. There we go. Here, pattern 3. There we go. Yeah, it's not the right one. Oh, that's better. Okay, maybe pitch down. And now there's some resonance. Yep. And then variation. And then copy that variation. There we go. See if we can add some flavor to that. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then let's see if we got some. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to the chat so much. Mono, please. Yeah, I know. I was trying. It is mono here for me, but I think I pushed the wrong thing on my. Let me see. Mono. I think maybe now it's gonna be better. Can y'all let me know? Is it mono now? It should be. It's just a sound card thing. I think. I hope. I'm not sure. Not yet. Yeah. So. I don't want to deal with this now, dude. Who cares? Alex Mike. It's because it is on mono. That's the problem. Or is it? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's now. No, it should have been. It says mono here. And there's no L right, left right stuff going on there either. So I do not know what could be the issue. Okay, there we go then, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Do the disco open hi-hat on the backbeat. Nope, that's just does not work. Okay, I think we're good with the percussion and drums for now. We just need the snare fill thing. Snare clap. What am I doing? Snare clap. I don't think we're gonna find it there. I think we just have to go to like a classic. I have a folder called filler. This is just like classic 909. Or something equally classic and old. That had a very mild attack on it, which I'm not against. So I forgot to make something called fill snare, which I should be connecting this to. Okay, so now we're not gonna use this hi-hat. This is hi-hat, clap, snare, kick, and this one we're not using. Yeah, I think we're good on that. Oh, it's not perfect, 1/6, so we'll just quantize it. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. And then those will come before and after. There we go. And then I'm gonna make I do not like using, if you use EQs on kicks, just doing this will completely ruin phase. phase issue. It creates so many phase issues and kill transients and all kinds of stuff. It's okay maybe to shape a little bit in the top and mid, but as soon as you start like dipping or even cutting like this, oh lordy lord, creating some huge issues. But this is what I'm gonna do now. Also, the kick might change because I like my kick to be in tune with the key of the song, and I usually never pick the kick first. I usually make the key of the song, and then I'll figure out what the kick's going to be later. Hey from New York, Stephen Blanchard. Thank you for inspiring us fans, sharing your process. I've been listening since Red Claw. Do you happen to remember what's the sample in Power and Blanco? So the guy who's talking, you mean? He's called Max something. He's like a conspiracy guy. Max, I don't remember his name. His full name, Max something. He's like a little chubby guy, looks like a frog. He has huge glasses, and he constantly talks about like, you know, conspiracy stuff like Illuminati type things. I was super into that sort of stuff in 2010, 11, 12. Super aware. My eyes were opened. So yeah. Global power, yeah. And he's basically talking in the song about global power and how they get it. And I think I used that sample in another track too, but in a different project. It was very influential on me. This whole like, don't be a slave to the billionaires type shit. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is do like a high pass thing on the kick, where, of course, we're not gonna keep this. This is gonna ruin the kick. So what we're gonna do is basically activate that filter sweep when we need it and not have it on at any other time because it will ruin the phase in our kick. So what we're gonna do is either do it down or up. We'll see what fits best. Yeah, that's cute, but I think maybe either a stable one. Yeah, that's more like rigid. I like that rigid vibe. Okay. And now, this is just something I did like 10 minutes before the stream. I just like opened up Savant and just made some classic stuff. I've always been fascinated with, I think I found this out like a few years ago, where, you know, love FM stuff. Classic FM sounds are really cool. I love that stuff. You know, in here, FM and PD are a little different. Apparently, PD is what FM was in Theorem 1, and then FM is something either new or retrograde, like retroactively more accurate to what FM did. But who cares? PD sounds a little better to me. FM sounds more metallic. We can definitely test both. I usually test both, but PD usually is a little warmer. And these are tropey at this point, these kind of FM sounds. So I'm probably going to do more of a UK garage type sound. I call them Roadman bass. Not this stuff though. Now we're just making FM. Oh, that sounds like some MS-DOS. Oh, can you stop doing that? Welcome to the dungeon. That FM, fucking 80s Yamaha FM, fucking MS-DOS, fucking sound chip. Okay, that's not what we're going for though. But yeah, that's sine waves. But when you do it with saw waves, I feel like it gets a little edgier and cooler. So if we turn off all the effects that I put on, of course I have some distortion and low pass and a little bend on the second one here. So mask those highs with the filter. To me, I love that sound. Okay. I don't like that the sub is hanging. Some compression and shit will fix this. Okay, anyway, what are we doing? Sweet spotting. Yeah, I don't know about that, but let's see. Like since Serum came out, I was super sick, so I just sat down for like 2 weeks just testing it, making presets and stuff. And I remade my famous Famicom lead synth, which is this one. And it was really fun to. Hey, Bright One. Hey, bro. Happy birthday. Go enjoy a nice meal with the family. I already did. We ate burgers from a gas station today. Okay. So this one was really fun to make. I made it like 3 times already. I just had to make a preset out of it, so I don't have to like make it over and over again. And the cool thing about Serum 2 is that it has so many macros, so you can definitely tweak the sound into several different sounds. So I made a bunch of different sounds with this one patch. I'll make it a little bit more punchy. Oh, it's mono, sorry. That's what's happening here. Also, there's a huge latency on my keyboard, so it's really difficult to play because the sound card sucks. Yeah, the delay is crazy, so it's super hard to play anything. Okay, that was punch. Make it all sound very like Commodore 64, Nintendo. So many cables on the keyboard too. Oh yeah, that's the bass sound. And then I just made like a simple Nintendo white noise. So basically it can be like a white noise drum thing. And it could be like a bass sound. And then it could also be mid sound. Oh, I gotta turn the mono off to do chords, okay. Yeah. And then this would be more like a bass sound too, I guess, but it could also probably be Ninja Gaiden type stuff. So yeah, but to get it really Famicom-y, I had to really do a little, like, this EQ curve was so important, so if we turned off all the effects here, it would just not be right. That's not what Nintendo sounds like. This is way too hard, digital, bright, so turning on the filters and the delay too. I think I made the delay stereo, which it shouldn't have been, but I did it because, you know, we live in 2025, goddammit. But yeah, that's the sound I used on tons of records, Heart, anything on Ism and Alchemist, and you know, you name it. But now I just made a Serum patch. I don't know why. I just wanted to do it. It's a very simple patch. It's mostly like pulse waves with like the PWM. I don't know. I always like imagine it's just called power mode for some reason. So you can really tweak that frequency. I'm also gonna make like a, you know, just for fun, try to make like a physical based harpsichord stuff too, without using samples, just like raw synthesis type stuff. I really enjoy doing that sort of stuff. But yeah, so I made a bunch of sounds here. Let's see if there are any. Super easy to make, like these modern. Oof, that's not great. That's supposed to have like a more deep bass underneath, of course. Oh, there's my garage stuff. Oh, DT. When I make a macro called DT, it means don't touch, because I'm mapping it to a perfect frequency. So I just touched it. I thought that one had a vibrato. I don't know. We'll get to that sound design stuff later. Right now, I'm just trying to like build a good song. So, like bass pattern is super important if you're making something garagey or housey or electro in general. You need like a good bass pattern, not just like the trance classic. It needs to be more than this. Nothing's perfect until it's perfect, so. There's also something wrong with the fundamental here. Maybe I'm gonna have to there we go. Oh, it's because it needs a little bit of like harmonies, and it's difficult to add. Maybe that's gonna work. That's not a good garage pattern. We need the bam bam bam. And the release needs to go. Did anyone ever tell you thank you for being you? No, I don't know. Maybe. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, you. Okay, that sounds cooler. And then maybe we can use this as a, you know, foundation for a new sound that's a little bit more open. Let's see. So, let's see if we can do it. Yeah. I feel like it's when you're making stuff that's supposed to be a little bit more experimental or unique, you need to yeah. And it's super important to make some call response stuff if you're gonna make like a good, I don't know. I think there's a difference between like the poppy EDM and the more underground EDM stuff. Even though the underground isn't, I don't know. There's not a huge difference between. They're all festival stuff anyway. It's more. Oh, it's more about you know, vibe. If it's dark or if it's happy or if it's trying to be radio friendly or if it's trying to be honey, Eula, can you give me the other camera, please? Yeah. I have to change cameras real quick. Camera died. So yeah, but the bass house, you know, bass line, garage, all that stuff needs to be a little more spicy. So call response is super important. I'm just gonna switch the cameras real quick. Yeah, I have a new camera. I'm just waiting for the cable to kind of like USB-C to USB 3 kind of cable, because my computer's really old, so it doesn't really have that USB-C stuff. Okay, gotta switch the cameras real quick. Let's see if this works. Sorry for this, guys. It's gonna be okay. So now I just gotta adjust it a little bit so it looks good. Let's see. I don't know. I don't want it to fall either. Let's see. This is probably not gonna be great. Yeah, let's take a look. Screen. Oh, that's really zoomed in. Let me put it there. Is the auto zoom on? Is that what's happening? I think so. No, there we go. Okay. Okay. Now I gotta do a little focus test. See here. And that's okay. There we go. I think we're good. I might not be perfect in frame. We'll see. Desktop. Oh yeah, we gotta move it a little bit. Move it a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, we're good. That's okay. Okay. Let's go back to business. Yeah, Bright One, thank you for $100. That's super nice of you. Appreciate that. Okay, back to the call response bass pattern stuff. Want to make this probably a two pattern, two bar pattern. And then another type, like a macro call response, where it's basically a different pattern here. So there'll be like many different call responses. There'll be this bass talking between this one and the other, and then there'll be a different part which will be talking with the first part. So it'd be fun to have those two squished together. Oh, sorry. There we go. My wife is producing the stream here, so helping me out with the technical stuff. Okay, let's see. We need some more stuff. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a little bit more. Yeah, so I do have like these are all samples I made for Vex or that era. There's so many samples, synth design as well, and I use these in tons of songs. They're very handy. A lot of one shots, good one shots, like just like the very basic chef's ingredients type stuff. Definitely need a cut. The hi-hat should be underneath there, and the kick should be above. There we go. Yeah, it feels really good to have made these sounds pre-making tracks, because you can really sketch out stuff so fast when you do have. Because when you hear the sound in your head, and I know all these sounds that I will like, it's really good to have them like prepared. Because I spend a lot of time trying to make this sound, and then the track kind of suffers. That I am getting tired because I'm designing this one sound for so long. So my sound design sessions basically like this pack right here, this bass test Rex Max. This is like made in maybe an hour, where I'm just like testing out all the different post-processing stuff. I'm tweaking the plugin and all that stuff, and then just recording all of them, throwing them into another software to chop them up and batch process them into like different files, and then that's it. And then I have them, and it's great. Yeah, that one needs a lot of attention. It's a lot muddy. Oh, it does have a fundamental. I don't even know if that's the right sound. It kind of has the right vibe, but it needs to be more exciting. So we're gonna see where that cutie on duty, wife cutie. There you go. Reactor 1 long. There we're talking. I used this sound in, I don't know if it was Possessive. Okay. That's way too spaced out. That's more of a stab thing. That should have had some filter stuff going on with it for sure. I think maybe not P controller. There we go. Like some really some more fancy filter stuff with some post processing on top. Let's see. Oh yeah, this attack is crazy. And then, oh yeah, I'm messing up all the time. I'm very messy. Maybe a saturator. Let's see what's that's gonna sound like. Snare buzz for sure. That's gonna sound a little fun. And then soft vacuum. Oh yeah, this always happens. Okay, let's try to hone in the snare buzz. Then oversampling up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Put the aura. Needs more aura. It's a little hard cut. The order it would be like a 24 low pass cut. It needs to be more like a softer edge on the low pass. So like that sounds more organic that way. Less like a filter, more like a happening. Use some cheap reverb. So yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves with this second part right here. We're just playing around too. Nothing's gonna be set in stone. If this was a song, this would probably be a demo that would have 16 versions after that. So the amount of iteration things get in my hands is insane. Also, also love that when you're working and you're listening to one type of sound and then you hear another type of sound sample or whatever, and then you can hear the disparities between them. Of course you do that because it's like contrasting. But I like an more even sound, and I could hear just working on this part that the snare was like lacking low bottom. And there's some major frequency harmony stuff. Everything has like a major. It's really difficult to get away from a major harmony inside of FM. A lot of the time it will create like the order of harmonies in the in the frequency distortion, and a fifth is used a lot, and the major. And I'm pretty sure this song is going to be a minor song, and a major on top of minor is going to clash. So I kind of want to either figure out how to do this with an EQ. Oh, okay. I see what's happening there. There we go. That was a big culprit right there to the major. There is more I can hear. That's another. So now we've removed 2 major harmonics. There are probably more up the stream here if we scan for them. That'd be a 7th. Yeah, there's a lot of like those 1, 2, 3, 5th, yeah, 7th or whatever, I don't know. Okay. That wasn't really audible, especially not to me. And now this other bass, oh my lord, that one's screaming harmony. There we go, that's one. That was one. Get that shit out of here. And there's probably a better way to do this instead of fucking, muddying up the frequencies this much. It should be, but it's hard to get it sounding good with FM. But there will be a different sweet spot. Trying to get it into a 5th instead of like a harmonic major 3rd. But there is something about those frequencies that kind of push the sound. More 5th sound. Erad 13X or Eradix. Happy birthdays. You've been my favorite musician since 2017. My favorite track is Orphan. I've always wondered, why is it called Orphaned? Well, a lot of my albums are, even though it's not very explicitly said or it's not very overtly, telegraphed. There's a lot of concept stuff going on. And the Oracle is about... I kind of don't want to spoil those things either. I just want to. That's for me to know and for you to find out type of thing. The album artwork will say all you need about that. It's about a little child who is at a crossroads with major technology, AI, and media. So it is definitely like this metaphorical thing for somebody getting raised by technology. Yeah. It's not like, I think a lot of the time I think my music and style can come off as kitsch, but I'm extremely pretentious. God, that was dry. Oh yeah. So by the way, Invasion. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, Orphan was supposed to like be on Oracle, so it was part of that whole thing, but it was laying around for a long time. So yeah, it's designed for Invasion is a very silly, mashed together album of unfinished things, and that's why I never was a big fan of it, because it has a lot of stuff from other places. There's a lot of tracks there that was supposed to be on other projects before it. And also after that, I kind of like spent on that. So yeah, Orphan was supposed to be on Oracle, but it got shuffled around a little bit. So that's when that sort of stuff happens. I kind of like feel like it's hard to. I don't know. It's like if you make I don't know what kind of analogy you can make to that, like a movie, or if you're making a movie and you take a character that was meant for one movie and you put it in another because you had to cut it or whatever, and it feels a little bit like you put a Doomslayer in Animal Crossing type thing, and it kind of ruins a little bit. I'm not a big fan of Invasion as a whole, because it's a little bit too mishmashy of stuff that was supposed to be other places and stuff. There was definitely some Zion stuff, and a lot of rushed material as well. But that Orphan was written for the kid for the Oracle concept. It's just didn't make it on the album. Also, I think there was also a lot of tracks on Oracle that had the beginning letter O, which was I don't know. It was a big yuck, because I love when I have 20 tracks on an album, I like to have the track names evened out in the alphabetical stuff, so it's not too many O's or S's, or because sometimes it becomes like imbalanced in a way. And there was like Organismical. There was I think there was a few other tracks too that had O on the Oracle album. You had the Oracle track, Organismical, and I think maybe there was another one too. Don't remember. But yeah. And also, I don't know, when I was making that song, it didn't have vocals at the time. I think the vocals came like very late in the process, so it was just like a little MIDI track. But the title for the track is usually encapsulates the whole story, so I remember what it's about, even though if it doesn't have vocals or not. So I just remember it. I don't know. I don't know if the kid from Oracle is supposed to be the super sheriff character. In the lore Bible, those things are like at one point all these characters are just the same like archetype. Different archetypes of the same kind of essence character, but they're also supposed to be like multiverse type versions of the same character. So they're not literally the same character from one to the other. They're supposed to be different, but it's more of like a multiverse type thing where the Vario character and the Ism character and the Alchemist character are all the same thing, but in different kind of stages of the universe, in different places. Oh yeah, by the way, now that I got a little break from these sounds, it sounds like trash, so I kind of just want to like delete the whole fucking thing. And that's the process, you know. That happens a lot. Like, I'm not even giving that a second thought. The rhythm could be cool, but definitely it's not hitting the spot. It could be a lot of factors to that, but the sound design part is something that takes a little longer than just like 3 minutes or 20 minutes. So something I can do to try to like ease up the thing is to start in the other end. Start from the top down instead of the bottom up with the start with more like the top elements. Yeah, these are just some raw atmos, as I call them. That definitely isn't hitting on the time, but that's okay. It has a lot of noise in it, and I'm not a big fan of that. And I don't want to use too much post-processing because, you know, I like to budget my post-processing a lot. And I mean, I could use a Spectral software to kind of try to get that out of there. Let's just do that, just because why not? I use this, what's it called? Spectral Layers Pro from Cubase, I think it is. And it is okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but it definitely tries to be Photoshop for spectral sound. Well, the sound file I chose was called Tulip 20. Okay, so it's the first one. Okay, which should be this one. Yes. And then I could try to paint it out, but it is a little finicky. So I'm definitely just gonna noise removal, noise reduction. See what I don't know if I can find a place in the song that has oh Lord, register noise. Okay, my God, this is getting complicated. Okay, let me how would I do this in a normal setting? I would take this and I will do the opposite just to get that noise factor. But I can't do that because there are harmonics in there too. My God, lordy lord. Okay, process, noise reduction. Maybe it's not gonna work. Tolerance. Let's try. Preview. Okay. Fucking damn major harmonics again. Oh. I'll just cut it. But I don't know, it takes away so, like, it's very difficult with the spectral things because it takes away way too much of the meat. Thank you, Brightwine. Again, $200, you're crazy. Thank you so much. I'm appreciate you. Yeah, this one had two things that annoyed me, and this is what, you know, stops me from continuing using this. Because this will create problems for me down the line with the high noise frequencies mashing in with other things and blurring the soundscape. And then it had this really annoying this one. And it sticks out like a sore thumb for me, and I cannot, in good conscience. It has a cool vocal thing, but it has this noise. Let's find something else. see what else fun we can do with this. Let's get some really bottom of the shelf type sound set. Nope, it's in classics. Nope. Raw. Nope. Vintage. There we go. Pad. Oh, I love that. Happy birthday, Alex. Thanks for doing the stream. If I'm not mistaken, you sampled the movie Heat and Arrows from the Krang album. Do you have any further insight to that choice by any chance? That's alleged. Allegedly. You're alleging that. I'm assuming. But let's say, hypothetically, that I was, watching one of my favorite 90s action movies, and this weird part of my brain takes over where I kind of hear this, section that has, a background score, but it also has, Foley sound design from the movie. This is just hypothetical. It's not the case. And, maybe those things just together created something musical together, without, it's like a serendipitous event, providence. So maybe that could have been something. Oh, that's cute. These are all old keyboards, 80s, 90s sampler keyboards, like Yamahas and stuff like that. Yamaha keyboards and Korg, Roland, stuff like this. Just birthday wishes. Okay. So now we gotta make sure it's in key, which is gonna be a thing. It was in key, so now we're good. Now we gotta figure out what key this is. G. So this song is apparently in G now. Let's make sure the kick is also. Oh, now it's in G. That was pretty easy. It's really difficult to hear with these headphones because the bass is. But I'm presuming it's gonna be. I don't want to spend too much time on it. We'll tweak that perfectly when we get into the mixing stage. Okay, so now I want to do some chords on top of this. G, so it's gonna be. Oh, I need to. Oh my god, I need to add some more latency because it's starting to chug already. There we go. Okay. Okay, I think the sound is a little bit more better for what we're doing. And it's also envelope, hold it. I mean, I can play this, but I'm not gonna. Because it's faster and easier to do this. There's no time to have second thoughts about your musical selection when you're making music. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have any taste in music. If you have taste and you know what you want, you're always going to have this is functional, and then beauty will always come after. You have to have utilitarian sensibilities when you're making music, and having something that works or is like classic is really good to start with, and not trying to reinvent the wheel, or do the fucking cliche fucking Japanese jazz chords shit. The oh my god, like the I just hate that chord progression. I done it too, and it's just overdone so much. Ooh, cringe. Okay, let's. I've probably used these chords tons of times in other songs, so that's also the difficulty when you have like a gut feeling about something, that you're probably going to redo some stuff, and not even thinking about other songs that exist that you could have. Gain staging. I am gain staging right now. Like, this is gain staging. Like, it is what it is. Gain staging would basically be to make sure that none of these things go over a certain amount. And when you work in 32-bit float, you're gonna be safe. You're not peaking in the same way as you would if you worked in 16-bit or 24-bit. A 32-bit float means that it is. I don't know what it means, but it's basically not letting you have that same headroom, so that if you record something that is over the peak limit, that you can normalize it and get it back again. You can't do that with recorded input though, because that is going to be the microphone's or the sound card's peak limit. But inside of the DAW, it has its own like infinite reach, where you can really go over the peak and just normalize back down again. So I'm not worried about peaking. I usually gain stage a little bit while I'm working. I do not like working at this fucking half volume type shit and turning my sound card up like a million times, because as soon as I start getting into the plugins and limiters and masters, it's gonna boom and give me jump scares. So I don't really care too much for that. Just make sure I'm not in the red. And the kick to me, if that's at max capacity from the start, that's fine. Everything else I'm gonna try to like build underneath it, and once I start sidechaining, everything should be fine. And then sometimes I'll put a little. This is a bad example, but something that will lower the volume a little bit for the master. I'll do like a balancer here, where I just cut it a few dBs, so that I can do compression and stuff like that, and maintain all my. So my gain staging is basically a little bit in post, and not so staging, more like gain reduction. But definitely a good thing to do when you're gain staging in the beginning is basically to, in FL Studio you can do it here, which is handy, because then you don't have to. I just hate this sort of stuff because it's so abstract. At some point where you don't really know what those things mean. When you work in an analog studio with real drums and real guitars, those sliders mean a lot more. Here, it's more for balance for me, and not so much for staging. I don't want these to be down here. But yeah, you can mix in 1,000 different ways. You can use white noise to mix, where you put white noise and then raise the track until you can hear it through the white noise and stuff like that. That's also a method to like make sure that all your things are leveled out and stuff like that. But I think when I'm doing something quick and dirty, it's just about what you're feeling, and not so much about like how is this going to sound on a expensive system. Also, I have really good ear monitoring and also speakers. I have used Genelex and these. My brain is so bad. See, I don't even fucking remember. Sennheiser, really good ones. So I get pretty good feedback on what I'm doing. So if I hear something that I don't like, start fixing it. Right now, things sound okay. So okay, let's see. Okay, so the reason I was doing these things in the beginning is because I like to stage some stuff, and that is to make sure my bus. These are called buses in some programs, or sends. Alex is helping teach the next generation of electronic musicians. Thank you. I think other people are way better at this teaching stuff. I'm not the best at this. I'm just managing. Okay, so in FL Studio 21 or whatever, you have these cables and all that stuff, and I think that's a little messy visually, and I really just like things to be very minimal visually for my brain. So the kick is going to two places. It's going 100% to the kick bus here. So these are going to be like the final stages before the master. All of these are going to go into the master at some point. The sidechain is going into the mix. The group is going into the sidechain. Effects, I don't know, sometimes it depends on if there's a lot of like effects that should sound chained or feel sidechained, or if they're supposed to be very independent. But as a rule, we'll do everything into the sidechain group, and then the drums that aren't sidechained will be independent into the mix. I put them into the kick, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so now they see this little doohickey here, like it is just showing us which track it's 100% going to, because it's not connected to the master anymore. They're all just playing straight into here. So now what we got to do is just connect all of these to hi-hats. I don't even know what. Okay, we'll just put everything on the drum for now. Loops will go into sidechain. Crash, I like to go into effects, because if I do stems, I don't like the crash to be inside of the drums. Snare fill, let's just put it on sidechain for now. Bass, everything's going to bass, bass, and then I could also use these subdividers as like a group, as what master group for these as well, like a pre-group. But how many fucking buses do you need? Like, Jesus Christ. So one bus is enough. Synth. Well, it depends. Let's say there were things that need to be handled very differently, so I need them to be grouped differently. But right now, we don't even have things on these channels. They're all empty. FX. This is just theoretical. Okay. So you see these are now blowing up, and these are showing us our total amounts of things, because we're building a wall, and we need everything to kind of fit in where they should fit in, and we also need to hard clip some stuff to gain some more headroom meaning like the top of the ceiling of the song, so we have more space to put into that to build it all the way to the top of the ceiling without it sounding garbage and noisy. It's a very difficult thing to do perfectly, but it is possible. So there's a lot of signals inside of audio that will be, to our ear, we don't really hear them as audible things, but say for instance these peaks, these transients on certain things, maybe if we hard clip some of them, you would still feel the same way about them, because there will be created some extra harmonics by clipping and stuff like that. So you definitely don't need maybe all of these. And the more of these we cut away in all of the instruments or whatever, the more space here we're going to get to fill in. So we can put things higher up and louder. So that's the whole premise of hard clipping at this stage. We're not using this limiter. I was just to show the peaks. Okay, so we're not mixing now. I'm just showing you the process, because the most important thing here is going to be the sidechain process. I sidechain technically in 3 different processes. I sidechain by frequency, then I sidechain by volume, and then I sidechain by compression. So the first thing will be either using something like this, and then putting something. You could use. I think maybe using automation will be cleaner and less usage of algorithm stuff. But we could use the peak controller, which will basically give us an input and tell us what's happening there, and then we could put that input into something else. Like I wanted to, push this down right here. So what I will do is take that peak, put a -1 in front of it. Now something's going to happen is that we can turn this down, and now we basically have something that's sidechaining all of these frequencies for us. The problem is that we don't have a good release or attack function here, so it might get snappy. I'll have a little click sound. So we need a bass sound right now. I'm not happy. Yeah, these can go suck it. So I made some sounds a few weeks ago, just to Mellotech Perfection. That's something I made for my personal stuff. Let's turn down something here a little bit. Get it cleaner. Take away some... Oh, are you kidding me? The DSP is it's not 100%. So DSP meaning like it is like the digital effects. I usually like the reverb and the modulation effects, like the chorus effects, stuff like that. And here I didn't put the macro 100% to it. Or is it? Oh, that's what's happening here. So it's like a bus. Okay, there we go. I might not have anything against having a little reverb. Okay, whatever. Let's get to the point. This is in G. Okay, let's see. Put that there. We need to put that on a channel. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's starting to mess with me. I knew this was going to happen. Is that a triangle? Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. I knew this was going to happen. It's a little bit like that lately bass, like that Yamaha DX lately bass that was very popular in 90s trance. I think I have it in Citrus because Citrus also is like very based on the Yamaha kind of grid. So you can make it here. I think I have the lately bass here. This is what it sounds like because this is basically based on the specs of the original bass sound in the 90s. So it's very accurate. And that was used in like all club and trance and dance songs in the 90s. Not all, but a lot of them. This and the organ, which I also tried to recreate, but I don't know if I got correctly. The M1 organ sound. The Robin S. So these are things I've tried to recreate. And I recreate them by adding one tiny frequency at a time to match up with the frequency of the original sound. Have coffee with a geek. Okay, thank you for $50. That's amazing. For all the music and knowledge you have given for free, it's only right that I finally pay you back. So thank you so much. Maybe we can actually use this Chord bass on top of the lately. That would be more classic. Bright one. Do you use all... No, I'm not using any sidechain methods yet. I just need a bass sound before I can show the sidechain methods. I'm using one, and that is this one. But the bass is not connected, is it? Is it? Because this isn't connected, so I need to connect the bass. Now we need to adjust the steepness of the slope, because you don't want it. The whole thing about sidechain to me is either you show it off proudly as a very visual, like audible effect, or you want to make it invisible so the song sounds very tight and tightly mixed, and you don't really notice the sidechain. So there's like a sweet spot there if you like choose to either want it to be very obvious or if you don't. But at this technically the whole point is to try to make space for the kick. So if we know that the kick is going to have a big fundamental at 56 here, or around 50, it's a big one. 30, let's say 38 to 60, 38 to 60, so like 20 hertz there. Then we can try to like make sure that those are specifically. There's going to be a lot of up here too, like we have some around 188, and then it pops back in at, you know, here. That's a big pop click sound that I don't want to take away, but the volume sidechain is going to try to fix that a little bit. So now we're going to add a little volume sidechain. I might actually want to rename these just for sake of... okay, so this will be the freak sidechain. And then we'll have another one that's called volume sidechain. There we go. And the volume sidechain is going to be a little different, but it will be on the same channel. Volume sidechain. Oh, I forgot the most important ingredient. It needs the -1 at the front there. Now, and then we need to turn off the mute and stage this to the exact position as it was. Yes. Now that's a very hard sidechain, and it's very well. The decay here can work as a release, but it's also very tied to the sound. So if the sound has a lot of jagged edges, you will hear them the tighter you go with your decay. And this also might be a good time to kind of make sure that we can actually add a little distortion here to get the key a bit more accurate. And yeah. Okay, there we go. Maybe I need to cut the decay on the kick here. You don't need all that bass, maybe. Depends on the track you're making. I'm trying to make a very delicate song, so I want it to be a little bit more delicate. Okay. Yeah, okay, so now the sidechain is a little tighter. And pads are really loud. It's maybe not so loud, they're just like, they have this stereo thing. Or is it, I don't know, is it stereo? Yes, it's stereo. So it has this like stereo thing going on in the mid-lows here in the 300 range that I kind of want to like skip away from side info. Here. Now we're just listening to, if you guys don't know what that is, there's something called mid and side, and mid is the things that are only audible in both speakers, and then side is the stuff that's audible only independently and not together, but they're grouped together, so you can hear like these are the things that are only in the left or only in the right. And the problem with mixing is that if you have your whole mix in stereo, there's going to be tons of side information that's not going to translate to the middle. And if you hear it in mono at a festival or on a phone and stuff like that. All the side information is just like, it is invisible. Like, it is just fugazi. It's not, it doesn't exist. It's just imaginary audio stuff that's happening on the sides but not in the middle. So it's super important to use some oscilloscope stuff to try to figure out sometimes where stuff are happening. But it's probably better to do on the master than in a certain like on a separate instrument. But the stereo information here is insane. Like, it's all over the place. That's the middle. Yeah, that's the pure sides. That's the pure middle. Yeah. So when it's on -1, it's completely on the sides. And if you turn the track mono, it disappears. If you merge the stereo channels, they face each other out or whatever. It sucks. So if you like a lot of width to your sounds, be very careful that you're not designing your sounds in super stereo. This is a mistake people do a lot of the time when they're using plugins like Serum or whatever, and they're upping the unison and doing this. There's going to be a lot of side information there. That's not going to translate that well to the middle. You hear that? Where's your middle? Where's your goddamn middle? So you have to kind of find a way to get away from that and add stereo effects at the back end of things, and you can get that same width. So what I like to do if I'm making like a supersaw like this, instead of using that spread thing, oh, now I'm in Serum 1 for some reason, but take away the width completely, make it mono, and then add stuff to bring back stereo. Because if you look at the oscilloscope or whatever right now, let's turn it back to 0 there. The whole point here is that it should be closer to the +1 than to -1. And if you look here, it should also rain or push towards the middle. You know, like you should see the energy being mostly in the middle, the core. And if it's okay that it spreads to the sides, but it needs to have a core that's in the middle like this, for instance, right? So that it's very audible in the middle. But we can also add a little bit of stereo to it. What I would do is add that stereo stuff in a certain band, like from 400 and up, and keep the bottom dry, stuff like that. But okay, now we're getting really, really complicated here. Let's skip all this detail sesh stuff and get back to our pads. My pads, I had an issue with my pad, and I don't really need this. I just need this fab. And it also has some other issues with the volume here. I can take care of those first, actually. Cut some unwanted sub information. Okay. Oh, that actually sounds really nice. Oh, I like that. Okay. Now this is starting to annoy me. You know, I'll change this. I don't know. Yeah. Might be easier to... maybe this would sound good too. Yeah, there you go. Consistency is really important to me with the frequencies. You could call them drones or whatever, but to keep some fundamentals, even through a chord, I think creates a much more consistent thing for the listener, keeping one note. It doesn't necessarily match all those chords I just played, but it definitely keeps the consistency so that you don't lose off track. So that's really nice to do sometimes. I felt it was really nice here. So yeah, now we sidechain two ways. We sidechained with frequency. Oh damn, what's going on there? I'm really sorry about that. There we go. And then the last way would be to sidechain with compression, meaning if we use a compressor. These Ozone plugins, they take so much CPU, and I'm running in like native Windows audio mode right now. I'm not even using sound card because the sound card doesn't go through OBS for some reason. I'm stuck in such a weird loop of weird shit. But this is just a very standard compressor, and what the last sidechain method, it's not really sidechain, it's just like, you know, making the compressor pop a little bit. And that is to make sure that the mix is a little lower maybe than the kick channel. But you gotta be careful with this one. And it's probably also good to calculate the exact attack and release based on your BPM and stuff. There's a calculator you can do that with to get the perfect like attack and release. But that's starting to sound a little bit more like Daft Punk sidechain stuff. I'm just talking about a tiny bump. And when the deeper you get into mixing, the smallest stuff is gonna be not noticeable to you and to nobody else. That sucks, because these things, the tiny tweaks, fucking 15 years ago I wouldn't hear the difference, but today I do. Using a little maximizer to squash the track a little bit to get another compression level. We gotta calm down on these CPU stuff. Was that something I made today? I can make it again. Who cares? Oh, now I know what it needs. That's what it needed. And also those chords, they're very dry and old school, so they kind of like stick out a little bit in a retro kind of stinky way. So I might just want to do something a little bit more. Then when that goes for a few rounds, the natural thing is going to be for the bass to start following the... Oh, I ruined my pattern because I didn't duplicate it. Genius. let's do that first. There we go. Yeah, now this vacuum is doesn't work that well. Got to remove it completely. There we go. But yeah, this is just like, we're not making a serious track here. I'm just talking about processes, right? So I would just save this under tutorial. This will never become a track, because you cannot, unless I have a big like eureka moment before I sit down and try to do this stuff. It's all gonna be like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? A lot of time it is like that, and this is okay. It's totally, it works as something, and it could sit there for a few hours to make it work. But let's say tutorial 1. What else is in here? Oh, it's the Razer sounds, the Famicom synth, and then a plugin that some guy on Twitter gave me, so I could test it out, which was really interesting. Let's take a quick look at that. The plugin is called Chameleon X. He's called Ewan. Let me go check what his name was, so you can grab that plugin too, if you guys want. He's called Ewan Bristow. Ewan with a W. Ewan Bristow. There you go. I think that's correct. Yeah. So you guys can. Oh, so many plugins. So many plugins. Oh my god. All of them. All the plugins. Yeah. I'm just testing out his plugin that he made in, what's it called? Plug Data FX, which is a really interesting software if you guys want to make your own plugins. It's very complicated. You need to learn the language that's used in there and stuff. But it's definitely possible to make your own effects and your own synths and stuff like that in an easier way than hard coding, Steve Duda style. So yeah, so here I think I'm just using like some oscillator stuff, and just to see how raw I could put the input into his plugin, to see what kind of I could do with it. So if I turn it off, turn off everything, plug data. Oh, that's garbage. Oh yeah, this is very dry. Let's take off all the... So this is... So his plugin is like a spectral filter, but it kind of really like spectral filters the shit out of your stuff. It has a bunch of knobs that we could go through, but I'm not gonna like totally go into it. I'm just gonna show you some of the stuff it can do quickly that it kind of interests me. So you can use wavetables to kind of spectral filter the signal coming in. Here's his wavetable. You can load your own wavetables. I've loaded my own here, I think. So if we just turn that up. That's very low. and it has a OTT compression built in. Makes your sounds like get that texture to your sounds, and I want to use a little dry wet level here maybe. Yeah, and if you add a little bit of like breath on top, it's gonna sound nice. I used Faceplant, the first one, but I didn't get the the AI thing. I don't know. Soft Clipper? Sometimes I use Soft Clipper. But I use other. I have bought like expensive clippers. I like this one is pretty expensive, and this one does a lot of good clipping. It can multiband clip as well. So this is my preferred go-to clipper, where I can clip individual frequencies basically, and it's very accurate. So I really like that one. So why is this so shit? Okay. So yeah. So if I use the clipper here. But yeah, the multiband is where it shines. Gotta be careful with the bottom, because it distorts really fast. Depends on what kind of sound you're after. Yeah, this song is mixed, so this is gonna sound shit. You have to mix your track before using a clipper, of course, because there's so many muddy tones coming. But yeah, I'm just showing you K-clip. I like it. That's what I'm using. Oh yeah, for this part. Yeah, it's very unique, and it sounds very interesting. So if you're a music producer, you can't get this, at commercial places. You gotta like go to him on his Patreon, I think, actually. There's another Spectral plugin that I wanted to get for a long time, but it requires like a Patreon subscription. And I really love the dude. I think he's a great sound designer and engineer. But I wish I could just buy the plugin. It's another guy. It's not this guy. It's a different guy. But the difference between this sound right here and this, it just shows you how far you push the thing, right? So it definitely has a lot of... There you go. Yeah, so I just basically made that little track just to test this plugin out. I think I made another one too. Thank you guys for birthday wishes. What genre? I don't know what genre it is. It's got a little UK inspiration on it, but I don't know what the genre would be. Oh Lord, what is this? Oh yeah, okay, so that's how extreme that was. Okay, that's the sound. it's also very interesting. It has this keep low bar that keeps the low of the original signal, so you don't really mess up your fundamental. Yeah, very very cool. I'm gonna try to find out where I can fit it into my workflow a little bit, because I think it's very interesting and very like a fun toy to kind of like get something different out of when you're kind of like stuck in a little thing or something. But yeah. So that was a little bit about like how my process of basically setting up a mix and arranging a track is. But I think each time I do one of these, I want to focus on something different. Now I talked a little bit about how I sidechain things and how I kind of like look at stereo and how I like think about arrangement before I start my tracks, and then also about I don't know, the building process of like where I start with the song. Of course, I have 100 ways of starting with the song. Thank you, River Rat. That was a very simple $2. I love it. Nothing. It's just you give me a nice color. I got that cool color. Again, thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. So yeah. So I have a bunch of new tracks that I'm kind of finishing up. Also, I am, finishing up the next EP. It's been a long process with that one because I wanted it, the last of anything is very difficult because you're kind of like putting the nail in the coffin. I kind of wanted it to be as best as it could be in a trilogy of things, so I don't end up with like Return of the Jedi type shit, or insert trilogy here with bad third movie. So I'm just working on stuff. I got my selected tracks here. I've picked 9 out of these to be on the record. Yeah. And I made this track a few days ago, and I really liked it because I said like I was gonna go I've been trying to like focus on different styles and experimenting more, and I've done some techno. I never used to do that, so I've tried to do that. I got some techno stuff. And then I have, this is horrible, but I tried to do this. Sounds like trash. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's me or the genre, but I fucking couldn't deal with it. Soul, I made this one. This one's been in the cooker for a long time, and I just figured out the arrangement for that after like 8 versions or whatever. This one I really like now. This is what it sounds like. I love this. It's a little bit too saturated on the master, and I need to like get that shit down a little bit. It has a little bit too much of that saturation, so the kick is a little bit like so I need to take that down. But yeah, I've been having a big trance renaissance, trance melodic techno stuff. This one too. Woo. I wanted this one to have that kind of early 2000s, late 90s kind of Cafe Del Mar kind of vibe. And I haven't used a straight sawtooth as a lead unironically in very, very long time. So this is like this. The drop here is like I got a sawtooth lead. Yeah, unironically for sure, because when you do cliches in the modern time, it has to be some sort of like wink wink moment with the audience, because they need to kind of, I don't know, it's a cliche, like it's silly, but this is unironically because I think this fits and it's good. So but this track is really like cool, like on the edge between like it's got the house groove, like that hard house, not hard house, but like 2000 late 90s kind of like more like techie house stuff, not tech house, but you know, more the harder house. And then the trance stuff, which is a lot of trance stuff had that kind of swing and that groove and stuff too. Hurricane, oh my god, lordy lord. Woo! Oh my god. So this is like right after I got Serum 2, I think. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm gonna yeah, just a little teaser of that. Just showing you some teasers, guys. Oh, this is a song I worked on and I teased on my Instagram for like 2-3 years ago, maybe longer. Spiritual moment. Yeah, so that's that part, but the drop, that's where it's at. so I've been trying a lot of different stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to make the last EP really kind of like badoof. Thank you, Impcent. Appreciate you. But this one, FUXXED that one I had a really good feeling about. And I was trying to get back to a point where I was in 2011 with my experimental IDM stuff, where I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit what people are gonna say, or what genre police are gonna come in and say, or what's, you know, what anybody, you know, it's just like, what's the next sound I'm gonna put in here? How crazy could I make this thing? And but I still wanted to pay homage to you know, Burial. I'm a big fan of Burial. I've been a fan of Burial for like since he came out. Like that was the big shit. Archangel was one of the best tracks ever made on this planet. That is my sad boy playlist for sure. Mikael, thank you. Oh, thanks for everything you've created. Wild Style and Alchemist are my perfect favorite songs. Thank you, appreciate it. But yeah, so Fucked Up is my little. I don't know if I'm gonna release it even. It's just for me. This. And all the drums here are made with the Razer again.
You got me all fucked up. You got me all fucked up.
Just lean into the flow. Just lean into it. Lean. Come on.
You got me all fucked up.
There's something very special about Burial, and there, like, I don't want to like try to sound like that. There's elements of his stuff that is gives life. So I'm trying to get some of that stuff into my stuff. Yeah, I don't want to play all of these. You know, just sharing a little bit. Is it this one? I kind of like this version better.
I'm gonna rave to my grave. I'm gonna rave to my grave. I'm gonna rave to my grave. I'm gonna rave to my grave.
That FM is just like so understated, and it's very knife party. How's this knife party? You talk about this track? I've never heard a knife party track that sounds like this. You mean like the voice? Because it's like a text to speech thing. Maybe. But yeah, I like that understated FM. Ooh. No, it's not Citrus. I think it's Serum. I usually just use Serum for any FM stuff that's not super complicated. And now that Serum has 3 channels, like, Jesus. Could do a lot of complicated stuff with them. I think anything over 4 channels with FM is going to turn very muddy. So 3, I think, is a very golden ratio. Yeah, I think the last drop here is a little bit more like hard, not hard techno, dark. It's more like dark.
Rave.
I don't know. There's something about this like depressing techno shit. Oh, my camera, is it dying, or is it just crying for help? Ah, I think it took quit on me. That's okay. We're wrapping up. But yeah, there's something about this depressive and sad techno stuff that are really melancholic techno, which I really like.
I'm gonna rave.
It's just like it has no optimism and no hope, but it's still something like the machines are coming and you're okay with it.
I'm gonna rave. I'm gonna rave to my grave. I'm gonna rave to my grave. I'm gonna rave to my grave. I'm gonna rave to my grave.
I don't know. I love that stuff. I have another version of this, which is this one. The more tech housey.
I'm gonna rave to my grave. 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 I'm gonna rave. I'm gonna rave. Rave.
So yeah, so this version is more, it's got more energy, it's got more groove, but the first version, it has that, like somebody said in the chat, it has that presence.
I'm gonna rave to my grave.
It's got that monolithic presence of like, this is the thing. It's simple, it's minimal, it's really stripped down, and it's a little bit more catchy and less like all over the place. And then there's more versions of this track. I made a melodic techno version too, I think. I don't know, is it this one? No, that is not it. Where is it? Raveyard X. Rave. What? Where can it be? Rave. Oh, of course, I don't rave anymore. 100 versions of that exist. Where is the Raveyard melodic techno version? It's not this. It's not those. Did I call it something by accident? No, I couldn't. Is it? No, it's not Limbo. No, that's a different track. Wait, what? Raveyard want to Limbo. That's so strange. I had another version of this, and now it's gone. It is gone. Well, maybe that's for the better. Anyway, that's it. That's it for me. I'm gonna go drink some champagne with my wife and celebrate the rest of my date. And appreciate everybody for stopping by and sending me some I almost called it pro chats, but I mean super chats. It was really nice of you. Little birthday present for Grandpa Winter. I was gonna leave you off with a song while I'm leaving, so I'm just trying to find something fitting for the goodbye. Let's see, something that's really chill but also melancholic in a way, because we're ending, so it can't be too nice. Spirit Stargate. I have something. Give me a second. It's here. Candy. Spirits. Spirits is very sad. And we're going to do spirits. Maybe another one too. There's another one called... By the way, I have made a Thriller remix like 100 years ago, and I played it on a stream like a month ago or something. And I got copyright strike on it, not because it was a Michael Jackson ripoff, but because some League of Legends fan music page had taken my Thriller remix like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and made a League of Legends parody track on it and copyrighted that shit through publishing. I got copyright strike on my own track that somebody stole from me, that I stole from someone else. From League of Legends, of all fucking things. League of Legends. And now I can't monetize that particular stream. What the? It's not music biz, it's fucking amateur hour biz. Fucking people who want to be in the industry but aren't. That was really grinding my gears. Oh, maybe it's Broken. That is the good one. Oh, okay. So I'll put you on with Broken and then Spirits, and then you guys have a good one. I'll leave you with my little sunset and my little Winamp visualizer and the chat, and then we go. And I'll see you guys next week, Thursday. Also, like I said earlier in the stream, I got my visa, U.S. visa now, so we're planning a tour from July out the year. So, you know. Zenobite, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Love it. Ciao. Adios. Arrivederci. See you next week. Okay, closing up. Later, guys. Yes, and